Hello? Is this thing working? Can people hear me? Oh, there's two viewers apparently. Let me see. I've given the streaming thing a whirl. I'm going to see if this goes horribly wrong. Sound off in the chat if you can hear this, please. Por favor. Ad. Oh shit. Goddamn ads. I should have turned the monetization off, man. I should just turn it. Like, I'm not making any money off of this second channel anyway. All right, let me see. I'll bring the chat over here. Hello, hey, how you doing? How's it going? Can you hear me? All two of my viewers here? Or maybe it's just one? I don't even know. I can't even tell. Are the ads over? Yo. All right, there we go. Okay, here we go. Here we go. This guy's streaming now. You know, a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm going to do a little bit of coding before bed. I want to turn these... Ultimately, I wanted to turn this, like, the coding shit into a live stream, you know? But I was just trying to... I was doing a few practice rounds, you know, just so I wouldn't dox myself. I didn't get ads. Okay, well, maybe a YouTube Premium. All right, this is good streaming content, not gonna lie. Hell yeah, let's do it. All right, so where we last left off, we were implementing some Blackjack stuff. TKB Fortnite stream went. Gotta get those donos, baby. You know it. You know it. I'm unemployed now. I gotta start e-bagging, you know? I gotta do that thing, what is it? People go on that one, like, live streaming thing, and they're like, can I get a galaxy? And people, like, buy emojis for them to eat and shit like that. All right. This is YouTube Reel. Yeah, we're watching YouTube Reels now. All right, let's get into some coding. I just want to do a little bit of coding before bed. This is kind of a test run. You know, it's not going to be super long. Just hopping on here, maybe 45 minutes or so to code, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, let's get into it. So where we last left off, I don't know if you watched the entire hour-and-a-half long video, but basically I've implemented a lot of the basic data structures and shit. I'm starting the game logic now. I've kind of like thought about it, and I think I was putting the cart before the horse by thinking about like future-proofing it, you know? Where I was thinking about, you know, implementing a UI later, but I think I'm just going to implement it as if it's a simulation and then go back and like, you know, change it if I need to. But for now, let's just get the rounds going. So I think what I want to do is I want to have a method here called... So public void play round. It's going to play just a round of blackjack. Let's see what happens. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is we have the shoe, we generate the new shoe. And I think the first thing we got to do in the round is check to make sure we've got enough cards left to play, right? So we need to figure out where the cut card goes in the shoe. And so I'm thinking about it. Where do I want to store that is the thing, right? So do I want to put that as a property in the game, or do I want to store that in the shoe itself? I'm trying to think here. Where do I want to put that? I could put it up here for now. I just don't like having a fuckload of properties. Like, I probably do want to end up ultimately moving this into a game state object, but I'll clean it up later. So I think for now I'm going to put it up here. I may move it. I reserve the right to move it. So private int... cut card location, okay? It's going to go like this. And we're going to start the cut card location as, let's see here. So I'm just going to do, for now, I'm going to do a quarter of the deck, or a quarter of the shoe remaining, okay? So I'm going to say this dot cut card location equals this dot shoe dot, num cards over 4, okay? So when we get through a quarter, so 3/4 of the shoe, then we'll reshuffle the shoe. I'll change this later to like typical shit later, but for now that's what we're doing, just to test case this. So I'm going to do it like this. So if this dot shoe dot num cards is less than or equal to this dot cut card location. I'll add some like variants later too, because they just kind of slide that thing in, right? What it's going to do is it's going to shuffle the shoe. So reshuffle the shoe. Actually, what I'll do is I'll just generate an entire new shoe, like this, right? So generate shoe cards. What I should do is actually create a helper method for this. So private shoe. Should I put that here or should I put that in the utilities, right? Is what I'm wondering. Because basically what I want to do is I just want to combine all of this logic plus the additional shuffle, right? Which needs to take in the random number. That's fine. Okay, for now I'm just going to do this. It's not too bad. So this dot shoe dot shuffle. Just like that. I also need to do that up here. I need to take the R. So this dot R. Let's move that up here as well. Just so we start off with a shuffled shoe. And there we go. So we've got... So if it's less than that, then we do this. And I think what we want to do... Oh, actually, no. I should make this a method. So let's do that. So private shoe... reshuffle shoe. Okay, let's do it like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in here like that. Okay, and then I don't need to return the shoe actually because we're keeping this in the class. So void reshuffle shoe, and then I'll implement the burning logic. So basically, whenever the dealer has a new shoe, they always burn the top card. You know, not physically burning it. That'd be pretty intense. That'd be pretty cool, though. Why is YouTube advertising? Gotta love it. Some pre-sleep coding. Hell yeah, buddy. What they do is when they reshuffle the shoe, they burn the top card, they discard it face down, okay? So this normally wouldn't really do anything, but it actually kind of impacts the card count, right? A little bit. Tiny bit, so I might as well put it in there. So I'm going to do this dot shoe dot draw. So basically just get rid of the top card. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace this call with this dot reshuffle shoe, right? Right there. I don't even need it. Should just be shuffle shoe. Oops. No, I'll do reshuffle. That's fine. So this dot reshuffle shoe. Okay, and then burn the top card. Good stuff. And then we start the round in full, okay? So what we got to do is we got to deal out the cards. It doesn't really matter the order. So for now, I'm just going to put it in an arbitrary order. I know, like, here's the thing, okay? When I did my fucking tier list video where I was showing the Blackjack code, somebody got on my case about not dealing the cards out in the right order in my animation. So, like, gamblers are very particular, even though this shit doesn't matter. So I will go back and make sure that I'm doing the exact right process eventually, but for now, I just want to test this out. Who cares? All right, here we go. So what I'm going to be doing is, let's just start off with the dealer, okay? I didn't expect to stream at this hour, you know? Neither did I. It's 11:07 where I am right now in Washington State. But I'm gonna go till like maybe midnight, and I'm gonna call it a night. Also, I kind of wanted to watch Sinners tonight, but then I got distracted by playing Bombi, and here I am now. So there we go. I'll have to watch it tomorrow. People have been telling me I need to watch it left and right. It's on HBO now. Let's see here. This dot shoe dot new cards, reshuffle shoe, and then what I need to do is start. Okay, so the dealer needs a hand. So let's do it like this. So var dealer hand equals new hand, just like that. And then we got to deal the dealer 2 cards. We'll treat the first card. So maybe the hand does need to be indexable because I need to be able to get the first card specifically to return the dealer up card. Yeah. So let's go ahead and do that. So what is it? It would be public card this int index, right? Isn't this how this works? Yeah, must have at least one accessor. Public And this property must have, yeah, so get, there we go. Get, not all corrupt, there we go. Okay, we got it. Is this C sharp? C++ is primarily what I know. This is, in fact, C sharp. Sinner seems pretty cool. Yeah, that's what I've heard. My mom told me that I should watch it, and that she and my dad disagreed on their interpretation of it or some shit. I know basically nothing about it. I think it's like a vampire movie, right? And then one of my other friends said that it put him in a sensual mood, so that also made me want to see it. Better than the Blade movie Marvel refuses to just make already. You know, I haven't seen the Blade movies, but I got to go back and watch that. But here we go. Here we go. All right, so return this dot cards of index. There we go. And the cards are immutable, so this is fine. So as long as this is just a getter, we're good. Although, I mean, nah, it's fine. Let's do it like this. We'll keep the add card as the method there, and we won't make it so you can switch out cards. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So we got this. So I'm gonna say get a card at a given index, and index to get the card at. Make sure not to pull a pirate software and actually get some programming done. That is the one worry, actually, is that, like, if I'm trying to actually get shit done, I'm going to get distracted by the chat. But it's fun talking. We only got a few people. You know, this is the second channel. Nobody watches this shit. I'm probably going to pilot this out on the, second channel, get used to it, make sure I'm not doxing myself. I may move it to the main channel, the live streaming, but for now, I like the chill vibes of just having a few people, tune in. It's all good. All right. I'm not used to this live stream and shit, man. All right, let's see here. So, the card at the specified index. There we go. All right, so let's go back to the game here. So we got the dealer hand, and then let's go like this. So this dot shoe. Ooh, let's do it like this. So this dealer hand dot add this dot shoe dot draw, and we'll do this twice. Do I want to put it in a loop, or should I just do it fucking twice in a row? I mean, sure, I'll put it in a loop. Who cares? I equals 0. I is less than 1. 2. I plus plus. Draw 2 cards. Okay. Actually, you know what? No. Let's do. This is going to be much more sane. Okay. We're adding a draw cards, N cards. It's going to be draw N cards from the shoe. That's much better. Only real fans watch the amicable streams. Dude, what the flip is this stream? This is me coding card counting bots on my second channel, buddy. All right, here we go. Let's do draw with an override. So we're going to go like this. Public card draw int N. And then we're going to move this down here. It'd be I list card. Okay. And does not. Yeah. Okay. So we get a list of cards here. Should I just have this be enumerable? Let's see. Don't understand anything but staying to support the amicable smooch lad. I appreciate it. I was surprised you don't use AI coding. It feels like such free real estate at this point. I just, I haven't really played around with it too much. I've heard mixed things about it, but I can just tell you, so for context, I've turned all of the autocorrect tools off in Visual Studio, pretty much all of them. I'll do autocomplete when I press tab, right? But it's because that shit drives me fucking crazy. Because I don't know, I'm just when it comes to all aspects of my life except for coding, I'm not very anal, but with my coding, I don't know why. I just get annoyed if the computer is it's typing shit in that I don't want it to. So the idea of asking an AI to code something for me and then getting it back and trying to correct it or understand what it's doing and then making sure it's all good, that just sounds annoying to me. So even if it would speed up my process, I just don't really want to do it. And plus there's all the, controversy about AI. I haven't really found a need for it. And I enjoy just writing out code. I think it's fun. It's a good time. So I don't know. That's my personal opinion. I don't hold anything against people who vibe code. It's just like not my thing, and I haven't really given it a fair shake. Hey, how's it going, Hellblazer? How you doing? All right, let's see here. So I'm gonna do this. Let's go ahead and move this. Actually, let's just do it like this. So var results equals new list of card, just like this. And let's see here. So for int I equals 0, I is less than ni plus plus. Are you planning on playing any random games on the second channel? Yes, I do. I do want to do that. I'm just I'm trying to get in the swing of things. You know, I'm still getting used to the unemployed lifestyle, and like I want to get into live streaming more often. So I just kind of like. I'm just kind of, you know, dipping my toe into it till I get a little more comfortable with it, you know, making sure that I'm not doxing myself, etc., you know. But yeah, I want to turn this into, I don't know, I want to play some random games every once in a while. Some mostly probably like indie horror games, indie puzzle games. I like indie games. That's kind of my thing. Fine, so you're a Lumpy Touch fan too, Gorefield enthusiast. I haven't like checked out his shit in depth, but I like his art style a lot, and I liked all the Gorefield stuff. That was pretty cool. I mean, just the way he does the pixel art is really impressive to me, and it's also weird and shit. So I'd consider myself a fan, but I haven't, like, kept up with him. Live streaming and unemployment are a good pairing. Hell yeah, brother. Absolutely. All right, here we go. For int I equals 0, I is less than n, blah, blah, blah. Okay. What I want to do is just do this a few times. So card equals this dot last index, and then what I do is do results dot add card, like so, and then turn result. And what I can do is I can return this dot draw of 1 of 0. All right, there we go. So now I've refactored that, and yeah, should be good. Okay, there we go. So now we have a draw n function. Okay. Any non-indie games you like? I mean, recent non-indie games that I like. I'm trying to think. I mean, I liked, man, that's a tough one. Oh, Baldur's Gate 3. I love Baldur's Gate 3. That's probably the most recent non-indie game. I don't know if you did a video about it yet, but have you heard of Balatro? Yeah, I love Balatro. I've wanted to do videos about it. I've heard there's like a new update coming out. Somebody was telling me that I should be doing some videos when the new update comes out, so I'll probably do that. Do you play Factorio? So I have Factorio. I've played a little bit of Factorio, but I've not played nearly enough Factorio, and I need to go back and play it. I just haven't done it because it looks awesome, and I love what they're going for. I love the whole automation thing, so I'm definitely going to play more of that. I can recommend you Faith and Darkwood, both masterpieces. Hell yeah! So I've haven't played Faith or Darkwood, but I've watched gameplay of both, and they both look sick. Like, I love the Mortis. I love that shit. Darkwood, the sound design in that game is so fucking good, dude. It's crazy. It reminds me, so it sounds like I used to love going to a cabin when I was growing up. It was like a great time. And like the sound design in Darkwood when you're indoors sounds so much like that cabin growing up. And like, I love that cabin, but it gets spooky at night. So they just did the atmosphere super well. You played the prior Baldur's Gate games? No, I've only played 3. Haven't played the other ones. Those were by BioWare, right? I like Knights of the Old Republic. Those were fun. I'm playing Expedition 33, and it's great. Is that I've heard about that. Oh, is that an RPG game? It's like a turn-based RPG game with parrying, right? It's kind of like Dark Souls, but turn-based. Is that the right game? I haven't played it, but I heard it was really good, I think. Okay. Anyway, so I'm getting distracted here. I'm going to keep... somebody earlier was like, don't pull a pirate software and just get distracted. I want to get some actual coding done as well. Let's type the comment in. Draws n cards. Okay. N, the number of cards to draw, and returns the list of drawn cards. All right, so now what I want to do You're going to use high-low for the counting part. So I'm going to do a variety of strategies. What I want to do, the one I'm most interested in, is to just, I want to put like a theoretical max EV based on like perfect counting, right? So basically, if you were to like generalize, if you were to generalize the counting, right? So basically, you know when you're making like basic strategy, you basically assume that it's a full deck and you start generating the entire chart of what you should do. I want to generalize that so that it works for any distribution of cards, and then use that to put an upper limit on the amount of utility that you can get out of counting cards to first of all just see how often you're at an advantage, right? And then I want to use that as the baseline to rank counting systems, right? And how many decks are we assuming? So I'm going to have variable decks. So I want to analyze, like, I want to be able to fully parameterize this, check out how the counting affects different strategies for different rules, things like that. But yeah, I want to do the whole 9 yards. I want to give this a good fair shake. I'm going to upload all of this code to GitHub so it's fully auditable by people who know how to code and know how to count cards, so that they can see, like, I'm not blowing smoke up people's asses, you know, if the conclusion comes out that either it's not that profitable or it's insanely profitable, you know. So I want it to all be fully transparent. I mean, that's why I'm doing these live streams and recordings and things like that. But yeah, I'm probably going to do, I'll start it off as like 6 or 8 decks and then go from there. I'm going to have that as part of these game rules over here. So right now it just has the number of decks, but I'm passing that into the game. Don't know how to do either, so I'm going to take your word for it. Appreciate it. All right, here we go. Here we go. Back to, where is it? Shoe. Shoe is where we were at. I can't believe you were a part of First Robotics. Yes, I was indeed. I didn't do programming at First Robotics. I did design, actually. Have you seen Pirate's Code? I have not seen Pirate's Code. I've seen video titles of people criticizing his code, but I have not personally taken a look at it. I don't know, like, I don't like the guy. I don't know. There's a part of me that feels a little bit bad for him, because I just think I don't know, he got himself into, I mean, at the same time, he was kind of like, no, I don't know. I don't want to say he's asking for it, but, you know. Anyway, whatever. When are we going to get the first episode of DKB's Intro to C++? C++. Okay, so when I was at Google, I would use C++ every day. Here's the thing, though, is that people are extremely opinionated about C++ code. Like, I'll admit that, like, even though, like, I consider myself to be fairly good at programming, you know, but I would constantly, so you do code reviews and people would, you know, always have to tell me, like, style changes, or they're like, oh, wait, this is, like, copying, you know, when you shouldn't be copying, so you need to change this. And I'd be like, oh, I missed that. So I'm not the C++ expert, to be honest. I know how to write in C++, and I did it a lot, but there you go. Anyway, on the CAD team, never would have expected. You should code this all in C like a real programmer. There you go. Whole internet needs to chill, like he disagrees about petition on the other continent. I don't think we need to analyze every line of code he's ever written. Yeah, that's kind of my thing, is like, I get the point, is that he just kind of presents himself as like an authority figure, you know, on code and game development or whatever, and that's annoying. And people are dogpiling on. I don't know. Like, we can just agree the dude kind of sucks and he's got a big ego, and like, we can just kind of move on, I think. I don't know. That's my opinion on it. Like, there's plenty of people out there that are just like that, and they're annoying, and like, me internally, like, I do want to dunk on them. Okay, but I try to resist that urge, you know? I'm trying to be better than the person that I actually am, which is a piece of shit. But there you go. Anyway, God, I'm getting distracted. Now I see why he doesn't do any coding on streams. All right, here we go. Okay, so we got our multiple draws here, multiple draws. Over time, I'm going to learn a good balance here. All right, so let's do this. Dealer hand, and then we should make it so that the add to the hand function can take a variable number of cards as well. So let's go ahead and do this. So public void add, and then I enumerable cards, and then we're going to do this. This dot for each var card in cards. This dot add card. There we go. Okay, good stuff. So adds a set of cards to the hand. And let's see here. The cards to be added. Okay. I ignore them, but I also don't care if others dog on them constantly for it. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. The only experience I have in coding is playing Hacknet. I haven't heard of Hacknet. I should probably know this stuff, but I don't. As someone who uses those constantly, yeah, that shit doesn't work. I think arguing about blah, blah, blah. I think more people are mad that he spread misinformation about a thing. Yeah. When I see for each, I get... Dude, I hate PowerShell. Oh my fucking god. I had to use it for my first gig because they had all these deployment scripts that were written in PowerShell, and debugging that shit is so fucking annoying, man. I hate scripting languages. I'm sorry. Sorry, Python enjoyers. I don't enjoy it. Have you heard of Shenzhen IO? I have not. It sounds... IO is piquing my interest, so I don't know. All right, so we got that now, and then let's go back to game here. This shoe.draw 2. I should make these so these aren't magic constants, by the way. Let me go ahead and do this. So let's do game constants. Just like, I mean, this is never going to change, and people who play Blackjack would understand why it's 2 there, but might as well put a name on it, right? So public static class. So I'm going to say constants that pertain to the game, to Blackjack. There we go. Okay. Let's do it like this. So public const int starting hand size equals 2. So let's do that. Just for my own sanity's sake, the number of cards that start in any player's hand. Okay. Shenzhen IO is amazing too. I'll have to check that out. People have been giving me some good recommendations. People were telling me I got to play Bomb with an E or whatever. And that game is amazing, and I'm addicted to it now. I have my folder somewhere on my desk. Thank you for agreeing with my pain. What you're doing is, for every card removed, you use a different basic strategy instead of assuming a full deck and then doing the rest of the stuff. Yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm kind of far off of that right now. The first thing I want to do is I just want to get the game logic done so I can like use that as my jumping off point. Then after I do that, I'm going to do the basic strategy coding where I compute basic strategy and pass it to a player that can use basic strategy. Simulate that, make sure that that's all working. And then I want to take that algorithm to generate the basic strategy, and I want to be able to pass in any set of cards to regenerate the basic strategy, right? And so then I'll have one bot that can basically do perfect card counting, where it keeps track of every single card that's removed from the deck, and then recomputes the basic strategy as well as like the expected value. And then that way I can have it be like the difference between a perfect card counting bot and a basic strategy enjoyer, and then I'll have everything in between with different different card counting strategies like high-low, and then more interesting ones. And I want to simulate other ways that you can count cards, such as like wonging. You know what I'm talking about? So like there's a thing called wonging where you basically, it's kind of what that like MIT that MIT group that would kind of keep track of... so basically what they would do is they would go from table to table. They'd have a bunch of people playing at a bunch of different tables, right? When a table got hot, they would signal over a guy who would come over and bet like crazy huge amounts. They called him the gorilla, right? And then he would bet huge when the table was hot, right? And then he'd get up and leave, and he'd pretend to be kind of like a drunken idiot, you know, just kind of going for it. And so that's kind of what wonging is, but like essentially it's hovering around tables and then not betting until you know you have an advantage, right? So I would want to check like perfect card counting with perfect wonging and see that as the theoretical maximum that you could get from counting cards, and then compare that to like actual realistic expectations. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I will say that your code currently is better than any card counter on the planet, having perfect information about how exactly how many cards are left. Yeah, so that's totally unrealistic to do, but I just want to see theoretically what is possible, right? Temetsi, yeah, Temetsi's awesome. One of my friends told me about that. Hey, how's it going, Jaden? And then it seems like everyone should just perfectly count cards and instantly recalculate expected value for every card they see. Super easy, something everyone can do. Absolutely. So yeah, this is going to be just for, a theoretical point, and then I'm going to go from there. I'm not going to expect that that's going to be a realistic depiction of what somebody could actually do. All right, here we go. So far, I've written like 5 lines of code. Holy shit. All right, here we go. All right, so game constants dot starting hand size. All right, there we go. Is this C sharp? It is C sharp indeed. All right, here we go. So we've dealt a dealer a hand. Wow. So far, I'm like 20 minutes, man. I'm going to have to learn how to concentrate. 5 lines plus comments, absolutely. You can see why I was doing the videos, first of all. But it's fun talking with you guys. I mean, I haven't really jumped on a live stream in a while, so it's kind of fun to just chat as well. All right, so dealer hand.add those. So we have both of those. We're going to have, let's add this to the constants here. So public constant dealer up card index is going to be 0. So the index of the dealer's hand where the up card is located. Hey DGB, how's it going? It's going pretty well. I'm trying to code, but I'm getting distracted by chat. But it's all good. I like chatting. Pretty interesting project. I think High Opt 2 is going to be the winner, but the difference between High Low and KO will be interesting to see. Waiting for the result. Yeah, so I got to look into that too, because I got to see where proponents say that you should deviate from basic strategy with the different like high-low card counts. I'm not exactly sure where those are yet, but I'll figure it out. I'm sure Wizard of Odds has done some write-ups about it, so that'll be interesting to see. All right, so dealer up card index is 0, and then let's go back to the game. Okay, so we've got our dealer hand now. What we have to do is we have to deal hands for every player, okay? So actually the first thing I should do before I even do any of this is I should get the bets. So what I need to do is I'm going to have var player ID to bet. Okay, equals new dictionary of int to int. So I want to get all the bets, and then for each var player in this dot players, then we want to do player ID to bet of player dot ID equals player dot get bet amount, like that. So we're going to collect all the bets from all the players. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to player ID to, player dot profit minus equals, actually let's do it like this then. So var bet amount equals this. So I'm going to take their bets away from them, take their money away. So we're going to set the bet amount to this, and then I'm going to take away this from their profit, so bet amount. And then we'll give it back to them if they win, plus more. Rust progress update when? I haven't really started in full, to be honest, but I do want to learn. It. Check Blackjack forums for info in case you need it. They even have counts that are not published. Okay, cool. As soon as you're done, I'm installing this code on a shoe computer. There you go. All right, player.profit minus equals. Oh, it's read only. Why is it read only? Did I put that as read only? Oh, yeah, there we go. Get set as well. There we go. Game. Okay. Minus equals bet amount. Okay, so if this shoe, blah, blah. So we get all the bets. We reshuffle the shoe if we need to. We deal the dealer's hand. And then the next thing we need to do is deal each player their hands. All right, so here we go. So var player ID to hand equals new dictionary of int to hand, and for each var player and players, sorry, this dot players, this dot, or no, player ID to hand of player dot ID equals new hand. And I'm going to do, actually, once again, keep the reference. All right, so var hand equals this. And this will be hand, so we add the reference there, and then we're going to do hand.add this.shoe.draw, and it will be game constants dot starting hand size. There we go. So we deal each player their hands here. All right, so let's see. Is one player going to be able to play multiple hands at the same time like IRL, or is that arbitrary for this? Yeah, they'll be able to... Oh, when you say multiple hands, do you mean like split and then that sort of thing? Or do you mean like... I haven't actually seen people play multiple hands in person, but I don't have... Contrary to me making a bunch of fucking gambling videos, I don't have much actual casino experience. I've only had a little bit. But I thought it was just you play multiple hands if you got a split. But if there's multiple hands that players can play, maybe I'll have to add that in as well. Mouthwash gameplay video would be insane as well. Yep. What is the purpose of the new keyword in language without pointers? Well, so C# basic, it still does have pointers. It's just references, basically. So, I mean, you're just instantiating a new instance of that object and keeping a reference to it. I've heard Neutron Star Simulation is a pretty good starter project for C# devs. Maybe. Casinos hate this one weird trick, advanced statistical software engineering. Doesn't really help you much, to be honest. On Wednesday stream is exactly YouTube conscious. I expect from you. Yeah, man. You know, it's all good. I'm unemployed now. My schedule doesn't matter. I think it means people can play two hands at the same time. Okay, so I'll have to look into that. That would be interesting, because that would actually be pretty beneficial for the card counter, I would assume. Play multiple hands, but it's functionally pointless for this. IRL is being able to play 4 times hands before you get cut off. But the thing is, can you like vary it? So like, for example, could I start playing at a table, playing 1 hand, and then when it gets hot, could I start playing 4 hands and then like scale it up? But they would probably catch on to that. That's the other thing that's going to be hard to simulate is like how hot you are for the pit boss to notice you. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know how to implement that yet. Have you ever played Bumbo by that? I haven't played that, but I do love Binding of Isaac. Let's see how multiple hands would be statistically different than signally friends when the count is high. That is true. Yeah, so it'd be essentially the same thing, except you'd be way more obvious. Do you use C# at Goog or I did not use C# at Google. I used C# at the prior job I was at. Also, yeah, I think if you play, yeah, they'll kick you out. Yeah, if you just started playing 4 hands all of a sudden mid-shoe, people would get pretty suspicious. All right, so we've dealt out the hands. Okay, good stuff. Now, what we need to do is, what is it? I'm trying to remember. Do they check for blackjack if it's a 10 immediately, or do they let you bet first? I'm trying to remember. What's the order there? Because I know, so like if the dealer gets an ace or a 10, they potentially have natural blackjack. And there's potential that you get part of your bet back, right? You should play more puppet combo games on your second channel. I love you. Yeah, I would love to go and play those puppet combo games. Like some Power Drill Massacre. Let's do it. They offer insurance. Yeah, so they offer insurance, but I know some places it's like, some places let you bet before they check for blackjack, and then there's some places that will just auto check, I think, before you get to make other bets. Isn't that correct? I don't know. I'd have to look. But first of all, yeah, you're right. So let's do that. Let's offer insurance. So if dealer hand, okay, so normally check first. So I'm going to say if dealer hand dot let's do it like this. So scoring utils dot scorecard of dealer hand of game constants dot dealer up card index equals. Okay, first of all, let's just do this for sanity's sake. Var dealer up card score equals this. Okay, and then if dealer up card score equals 10 or dealer up card score equals 11, then we offer insurance. Depends on the rules. Normally check first. Did you pick C# for this project for any particular reason, or is it just your go-to? It's just my go-to, to be honest. It's the one that I'm most comfortable with. But I want to switch over to Rust for sure. I think I saw you. Were you commenting about how you were using Rust and you were having a good time with it? Because I mean, I think Rust looks awesome, and I want to definitely learn it. It's just that like C#. I'm able to write it very quickly right now, or I mean more quickly than other languages because I don't really have to think about it too hard usually. All right, although I'm going to make some stupid mistakes. I'm going to be like, I know C# like the back of my hand, and then fuck up something very basic very soon here. I just know that that's me. Here's the thing, like, I'm a relatively smart person, but I make stupid mistakes constantly. It's kind of my thing, all right? All right, here we go. So if it's that, then we're going to offer insurance. So what I do need to do is I want to add a method to the player interface to get an insurance bet. So int get insurance bet, and I'm going to pass in the player decision information, player decision info, just like that. Oh wait, so an interface, so I don't implement it. After Googling, I have a worse understanding of insurance than you. There you go. All right, here we go. So gets the amount that the player would like to bet on insurance. 0 means no bet. Okay. Info. Let me just do this again. Relevant info for making decisions returns the amount player would like to bet. The C++ dev, but I've been hearing more and more about how many vulnerability in programs are derived from poor memory management, and that's what made me start doing Rust. Yeah, it's really easy to just make dumb mistakes with memory management in C++. Not like even beyond like vulnerabilities. It's like copy elision shit, you know, like making sure that you're not doing like a full copy of a giant fucking data structure. It's like just learning all that stuff is kind of annoying, and anybody who's just getting into C++, it's like super easy to make dumb mistakes. I've made them myself, you know. So I don't know. That's why, like, I don't know, C#, it's like not as optimized obviously as like C++. You can't be as specific, but for what I'm doing, for all intents and purposes, this is like a nice medium between like having a low-level performant language like C++ and like a scripting language, because I don't like scripting languages. I like to be more specific than that, and I like a compiler, but I also don't really want to have to deal with like fucking a lot of the bullshit that comes with C++. I've been trying to learn Rust, but the program I'm working on is so simple I probably don't need it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, just kind of depends on what you know. If it's like a really simple thing, that's what I'm saying, is just kind of use whatever language you know. My job is mostly Python. Yeah, I mean, at Google we use Python. I just personally I don't really like Python. That's just my opinion. You know, it's I know a lot of people like it. I'm not a fan of it. And my job is 100%. Is like 100% too. Can't stand how little I can optimize. Yeah, I feel you. All right, so get insurance bet. So I'm going to go back to this. So I'm going to go for each var player and this dot players. I'm going to, I have to keep track of separate bets. So let me think. When you double down, that pays out 1-to-1. Never claim Python is good, but when you need to make something run once, it's pretty fire. Yeah. For personal projects, I think Python's great. You know, I I personally just like the structure of like a compiler language, you know. So I'm going to say it's positive EV to take insurance at +3/2 count with high-low. There is a perfect insurance count, but insurance specific count would be -2 for tens and +1 for other cards. So is that just based on the count, or do they do a side count for like aces and tens or whatever the fuck it is? People do side counts for aces, right? In certain systems. I don't know. I'll have to look more into it. First of all, I just want to get the blackjack code good to go, and then I'm going to dive deep into the most common counting strategies after I implement the perfect count. Ironically, it'll probably be a little bit more. It'll probably the card counting systems will come later after the perfect count, because I know in my head roughly how I'm going to do the perfect count, and then I don't have to like make assumptions about deviations because it'll all just be based on expected value. Yeah. I love being out of my depth of programming and the subject of programming is stimulating. Yeah, I mean, like, one of the things about programming I noticed is, like, if somebody, like, when I was in school, if somebody was 1 month ahead of you in school, or, like, I mean, not 1 month, you know, but, like a quarter ahead of you, right, in terms of class load, it would feel like they were, like, a year ahead of you, just because of, like, jargon and shit. So I would always feel like I know nothing, but it's really just like, you just learn things really quick, you know? Do you really do this work with no music? Not usually, but with the stream, I don't know how I would want to get that set up right now. This is my first stream in a while. And also, like, how does like copyright work with that kind of shit? Because if I could just play my Spotify, that would be amazing. I mean, otherwise I could just do like the neon white OST in the background. But here we go. I'll figure that out later. This is a little test stream. You know what I'm talking about? Pretty much just video game music. That's side count just to get a ratio of tens to other cards, because insurance is just betting the dealer has a 10 under. Oh wait, is it 10? Is insurance only offered if they have ace up? Or I thought it was offered with 10 up too. I might have a misunderstanding of that. I mean, like, because I don't count cards, I never pay attention to the insurance bet. You know what I mean? Streamer puts in music in the channel that isn't recorded for the VODs on Twitch, but it can be heard live. Also 10, yes, I'm pretty sure. That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure about that. Normally only on dealer ace they offer insurance. Okay. In that case, I would want to do this then. I'll look it up later. I'll leave it like this for now. I'll look it up later offline. All right, so for each player and players, we need to keep track of insurance bets as well. Yeah, it's only with ace up. Sometimes they check for blackjack with 10, but sometimes they have hidden BJ. Okay, so in that case, let's just switch it like this now. And in that case, I can just sub this monstrosity back in here and then get rid of it. We don't need that anymore. Okay. So var player ID to insurance bets equals new dictionary. Int. I might clean this up a little bit later if I want to put it in like a formal data structure, like a bets data structure. Good night, DKB. Good luck getting some coding done. Cool to see you streaming. Hey, thanks Yappy. Hope you have a good night's rest. I will definitely be doing it earlier, but this first one, I just wanted to... I'm just testing it out. Like, I wasn't even planning on doing this tonight. I was actually going to watch Sinners. But I was like, I'm going to test this out because I want to start up coding streams. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And so I was like, I'll just do it late at night on my second channel where nobody's going to see it. Just to test it out. Sure, as a side bet, you're betting if the dealer has a blackjack or not. Yeah, so I knew about that, but I thought it was offered on 10s as well. But, because, you know, with a 10, they could have an ace under, but I guess I'm wrong about that. Completely overshadowed by people making full size. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, for chat, why does the dealer sometimes need to peek at their other card to check if they have blackjack before the hand resolves? Yeah, I think that's for this case or whatever. I mean, so if they have natural blackjack, then you don't have to play out the rest of the hand, right? All right, for player and players, this dot player ID to insurance bets dot or of player dot ID equals Player. Oh, not this dot. It's not a thing like that. So player dot get insurance bet. Oh, I need to construct the view also. So the view should be, what is the view going to be here? I need the player decision information, and I defined this earlier. So dealer up card, hand, and rules. Yeah, so let's go ahead and make a method to construct that, actually. I watched Sinners with my girlfriend the other day, and it was really good. I've heard it's great. Because if the dealer don't check ever, that means less house edge. Okay, I'm going to have to, like, refresh my memory of the rules. I want to upload it onto my Neuralink. God, you would not catch me. Actually, you would catch me dead with a Neuralink based on the chimp studies. Let's see here. So, private void generate player decision info. How about create player decision info? And actually, yeah, let's do it like this: player decision information. And we need it for a specific hand, right? So dealer up card, hand, and then rules. But this is in here, so I just need the card, dealer up card, and hand, player hand. There you go. And then return new player decision information, dealer up card, player hand, this dot rules. Dealer up card. Actually, you know, dealer up card just needs to be a rank anyway, but why is this complaining about dealer up card? I'd have the, there we go, up card. Okay, let's change it to rank though, because there's no reason to pass the full info, right? This can just be rank, dealer up card. Yeah, let's do that. So rank get equals that, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we just need the rank. So we're not passing around the whole card here. So let's do that. Rank dealer up card. Video poker is crazy. Yeah. Yeah, you can actually get positive EV if you are technically a computer. Google's useless. I'm driving to the casino. You know, that honestly might be what I have to do. Go back to the casino. Get me back in there for another sesh. Somebody hold me back. I'm turning into a gambler. I got a poker night tomorrow. All right, so get insurance bet. And this dot... what is it? Create player decision info. Dealer hand of... Oh, actually, I already got that. So dealer up card dot rank. And... let me just put this on a separate line so it doesn't look like fucking shit. What are we doing here? We have the technology, man. I could store things in a variable. What am I doing? Okay. I hope I never see you end up in our Discord. Okay. As long as you don't have a roulette night next week. There we go. I did play roulette when I went last time, and it was not that fun. I liked craps a lot better. And craps was okay. I wasn't like a huge fan, but there you go. Speedbird coding PokerBot next. Yeah, do some GTO PokerBot coding. Slow is negative is better than fast and negative. Yeah, pretty sure he talks about it during his gambling tier list. That was fucking best. That was a fun video. I want to do a part 2 that has some more obscure forms of gambling. That would be a good time. But yeah, I really liked how the tier list turned out. I think I've gotten better at like presenting or whatever since then. But the content in that video I'm really proud of. All right, let's see here. So create player decision info. What is it complaining about here? Oh, it's because I keep getting the cap. I'm inconsistent with the capitalization here. Is that it? No. What? No, not insert. This is the worst. All right. What is it? What is it? Where is the dealer up card? Don't I have it here? Dealer hand. No, I didn't do that. It's this one. So var dealer up card. I'll just capitalize it like this from now on. Equals dealer hand of game constants dot dealer up card index. There we go. Okay. Dealer up card dot rank and player ID to hand of player dot ID, and that's it. That's all we need. And then I'll pass this in there. So var info equals this and info. All right, good stuff. Crap is fun because everybody is on team together. Absolutely. I'd say that's part of the fun. Actually, we can store this up. Nah, it's fine. It's fine. I don't have to fucking worry about putting that in a dictionary because it's going to change over time anyway. It doesn't take that long to construct it. All right, so we get all that shit out. So we get everybody's insurance bets if there is a chance of natural blackjack. And then they check for... They get everybody's insurance bet, and then do they immediately check for blackjack? Where does bingo night that the old folks home fall on for the gambling tier list? You know, so I was just thinking about this today. I was looking at Wizard of Odds, and he was saying something about that he was able to apparently get positive EV at certain bingo nights. And here's the thing, is that guy's like really smart, and so I think he was correct, and I'm just wondering how he did it. He said there's certain types of cards that he was able to get, and I don't know exactly what he meant by that, so I need to look into that more, because I always thought that bingo was just kind of a crapshoot. I understand that there's like different odds technically based on, like you're more likely to get a horizontal bingo than a vertical one or some shit, or is it the other way around? And I was watching a stand-up's math. Or stand-up maths, there we go, video about that at some point, I think. I realize it's not normal that I check my code after every 2 lines are right, and one of those is print var. I mean, it's good. I mean, to be careful. What I should do, too, the other thing I do want to do is write some unit tests for this shit, because I want to make sure it's good. And if you win insurance, you lose your main hand. Right. It's a side bet. Okay, so yeah, okay, so this is how it goes. This is how it goes. You get everybody's insurance bets, they bet, and then they check for blackjack after everybody's bet. And then, yeah, okay, so that's how it goes. So we get everybody's insurance bets, then we go next. Okay, so now everybody goes, and what we're going to do is go through each player. So for each var player in this dot players... Horizontal is more likely because the vertical lines remove the used number from that pool. Right, right. Yeah, Matt Parker's the GOAT. He's awesome. His stuff is great. I love a bunch of that nerdy YouTube shit, that math stuff. Like, I used to watch Number File back in the day and stuff like that. I haven't really kept up with him. I usually run my entire program, then run it for the first time. That's kind of what I've been doing. But you can do it whatever way you want. It's good. But I should be... I mean, ideally, I would be writing unit tests alongside this, but I will go and write them just so, whatchamacallit, so people who look... So there's a couple things about unit tests that are good. I mean, there's a lot of things, actually. There's a lot of things. It's mostly really useful when you're working on a team project for a couple reasons. One, it's like a sanity check to make sure that somebody doesn't fuck up what you've written. But number two, it's like it will explain... Test cases will explain the behavior of your code. And so somebody who's new to the code base should, in theory, be able to go to your unit test and kind of understand. If they get confused about what the intended behavior is, you've written a test case for it, and they should be able to look through that test case and kind of understand it. So that'd be my intention for writing that shit. Negative 1/12 video still hurts my brain. I don't remember the conclusion of that, but I remember watching that video. But yeah, good shit. All right, so for each player, let's get their actions. So what I want to do, so let's say var, so let's do it like this. So, okay. So basically what I want to do is keep looping through the player's actions until they either bust or stand for all of their hands. Oh, right, I need to make this a set of hands, right? Player ID to bet, dealer hand, and then we want to do it like this. We want it to be a list of hands. So it's going to be equals new list hand with this in it, and it's going to tell me how I can simplify it because I don't want to have to fucking do that. All right, there we go. Okay, just like that, and stop popping up so I can correct the issue, you dumb piece of shit. All right, there we go. Because the first hand, that's all we got. All right, Freya Holmer videos are also amazing. I actually need to. I haven't checked out her stuff. I don't think. I don't know if I've heard of her, but there we go. Play around, and then. So what do I want to do? What do I want to do? I want to go until I get a stand on each hand or a bust, right? Because the number of hands, there can be multiple because of splits, and I mean, supposedly people are saying you can play multiple hands anyway. So this will, leave the door open for if I want to do that shit later as well. It'll all be kind of the same thing. Here's the thing. I need to be able to determine when to stop taking an action on a hand. And so I could just put a while loop. I could just put a while loop, so a while true and then break on the bust or the stand. Yeah, I can do that. Let's do that then. All right, so first of all, I'll add the while loop afterwards. Let's just do one action to start off with so we can just see what it looks like here. Oh, hey, I had the idea of doing something like this, but didn't end up proceeding. Excited to see what you come up with. Thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty excited too. Actually, when I was first learning how to code, one of the first things I wanted to do, one of the very first things I wanted to do was to make a card counting simulation, and I had no fucking idea how to do it. So now, here I am, like, X number of years later. I can't remember when the fuck I was. That must have been when I was, like, 19. So it's been, like, 12 years. A decade later, I'm finally fulfilling my dream. I've always found working in teams with a single code base to be kind of frustrating because you eventually need to modify some file that somebody else is actively working on. That is true. That is very true. All right, here we go. For each player and players, let's do a single action just to start off with. So var, nope. I need to create the info again here. So let's just go ahead and generate our info. So generate the info. Ooh, no. We got to do it like this. So for each hand. Well, wait. So they'll be creating new hands, and then I'll need to go to that hand to... Yeah, Git's great. I need to put this on Git. The thing I'm worried about is that this shit's gonna dox me, so I'll do this offline. I'll get the GitHub repo set up probably tomorrow on my own time, but I'm gonna like enter the credentials off fucking camera and shit. So there we go. I wanted to start the project so people could see that I'm starting it from scratch, but I'll get all the repo set up tomorrow. All right. Let's see here. The var info, this dot create player decision. So, because here's the thing. They're starting off with one hand. As they're playing, if they take a split action, then they'll get multiple hands. And we need to iterate through each hand until they're done. But if I'm iterating through the hands and then I add one later, I can't do that. So let's do this. Var hand index equals 0. There you go. Okay, hand index. Okay. And then I'll just increment that. So we're not iterating through it. Is there a reason you prefer C# rather than Java or Python? So C sharp is just kind of what I used at my first job. Get you only hit one more time after splitting. I think isn't that only with aces? Or is it with aces you can't hit at all? I'm going to have to look at the rules and shit. But anyway, is there a reason I use C sharp rather than Java or Python? So yeah, Java, like, I mean, I just am more familiar with C sharp. I used Java a long time ago back in college. Haven't really used it since much. I also just, I don't know, I like having the executable and shit rather than having the jar file. And then Python, I don't really like scripting languages too much. I just like the specificity and the compiler that you get with something like a C sharp. I think a C sharp for me is a nice middle ground between a lower level language like C++ and a scripting language or whatever. But yeah, that's just my opinion. I mean, people can use whatever they want. I want to switch over to Rust at some point. I keep saying that, but I just haven't put in the time to learn it in full. Okay, so we got the info now. So we'll keep the index right there. And then if we add a new hand, we'll add it to the list of hands, and we'll resolve the hands in order. Okay? So let's go ahead and do that. So we create the decision info of whatever's in the hand index there. This is eventually going to be in a while loop, but I'm just doing it for one action to start off with. And then let's go ahead and do this. So var action equals player.get action based on the info. And then we want to switch based on the action. Case stand we would break at this point. So let's just put it in the while loop then. So while true, I might refine the condition later, but for now I was thinking I'd just break on a stand and break on a bust. You've gone and busted, my good man. All right, break case, oh yeah, player action dot stand, right? Cannot implicitly convert type to player action to system dot action. It shouldn't, okay, that's right. All right, so I put this as the wrong type. Player action. Okay. Game here. So player action dot sand. We just break out of the loop. Is that for the switch statement or the? I'm trying to remember. That's for the switch statement. So actually, yeah, I need to have it be outside here. So let's do it like var. That's for the switch statement. So what do I need to do here? We'll come back to that. Let's come back to stand in a sec here. Place player action dot hit. Okay. What I want to do is I want to just add another card to their hand. Is there go to in C sharp? LOL. I think you could do. I think there's ways that you can do that sort of shit. I'm trying to remember. You can like do some janky. Or am I thinking of C++? I know it's C++ you can do that kind of shit. You can break into assembly and stuff. But yeah. Delful Code Boy. I'm going to have to log off here. I'm getting a little sleepy, actually, but I want to do something of substance. So let me finish the switch action, and then I'm probably going to go to bed after that. But this is mostly just a test stream. I might do another stream tomorrow and pick up the coding. We'll see. All right, so player action dot hit. So what we're going to do is then, if that's the case, we're going to do player. So let's get the hand actually too. So var hand equals player ID to hand of hand index, like that. And then let's do this as hand, okay? And then this one I'm going to do hand.add this.shoe.draw. What is going on? Cannot convert. What? iCollection. Oh, hand. Oh, wait. Hand. Yeah, there we go. Sorry. Of player ID to hand of player ID. Sorry, I'm tired. Player ID, player.id. And then this one is going to be hand index. There we go. Now we're working with this. So now this one is just hand. Yeah, sorry. There we go. Now hand.add this.shoe.draw. There we go. EP Nap Boy is me. I want to do a tier list of all of the weird names people have called me. I thought that would be a funny video. Just going back through and seeing all that shit. One of my favorites has definitely got to be Autistic Joe Swanson. that one's a classic right there. I got to take the autism test, man. All right, hand.add this.shoe.draw break. There we go. Let's see here. Case. So here's the thing. Do I want to enforce the... So I'm going to make sure that the player only takes like a double down if they can. Probably in the player logic. You do sound like Joe Swanson. I still don't... I mean, sometimes I kind of do, but like... I don't hear it most of the time. I think like occasionally my fucking intonation kind of sounds like that. All right, so let's just start off by assuming that the player doubles down correctly, okay? But we might check later to make sure that they actually can double down. So what we'll do is we want to have a Boolean value that tells us if we've doubled down, we only get... No, then that's a stand actually. So yeah, okay, here's what I want to do. Var hand complete equals false. While true, for each like that, while true, hand complete equals false, although that'll be run for every action. So here's what I want to do is basically keep getting actions for the hand until the hand is complete. And then, yeah, that's good. That's fine. So hand complete equals true. And then this one would be hand.add this.shoe.draw. And then hand complete equals true as well. And we'll break there. Because you can't take any actions after you double down. Are you going to support various common rules of Blackjack, like double after split? Yeah, so that's what I want to do, is I want to have everything be configurable through these game rules that are being injected to the game. I like using dependency injection. I don't like globals, so we're injecting that into here. And then I want to eventually make it so that a lot of the most common rules, at least, are captured within this game rules. So I was seeing there's some weird, bizarre rules and shit, you know? I probably won't include those. Okay, so you double down, your hand is complete. Case, actually, you know, another thing I could do is after that, if, what is it? I could put this in there too. So yeah, if, score utils dot score, why is that not, oh, scoring utils. Should I just do score, whatever, it's fine. Scoring utils dot score hand of hand is greater than or equal to, or is greater than or equal to 21. The hand is complete. Yeah. Hand complete. Actually, I don't even need to do that. I can just do hand complete equals that because that's a unique case. Hand complete equals scoring utils dot score hand of hand is greater than or equal to 21. Because you stop on 21 too, right? So after you stand, the hand's complete. after you hit and you get 21 or above, the hand is complete because you either win win or tie, or you double down and then your hand is complete because you can't do anything after you hit, right? Okay, so, also though with the double down, I need to double the bet amount. So I'm just going to assume that every time somebody doubles down, they take the full double down amount, because I don't want to have to get another call to get their double down amount because almost everybody puts down the full amount. But I don't know. I'll come back to that if I need to. So what I'll do is player ID to bet of player.id plus equals... wait, actually, now this is... Oh, wait. We need to tie the bet amount. Yeah, you can double down for less. Not more. You can double down for less, though. But people just don't really do it. It'd only be if you're, like, running out of your bankroll, probably, or you're stupid. So what I need to do, actually, is that... Here's the thing. The double down applies to that specific hand. So I need to map the hand. I need to store the bet amount with the hand. That's right. Okay. Good point. Good point, me. Delightful Kiss Boy, you made such a good point. Okay, so this isn't going to work then. The insurance, though... Okay, so I'm not going to worry. I'm not going to worry about the playing multi... Here's a question. If you're playing 4 hands at once, right? Like people were saying you could potentially do. Can you make 4 separate insurance bets? I'm not going to worry about that for now because I'm assuming you start off with 1 hand, but that would be funny as hell. Can you imagine how much of a baller you would be making 4 insurance bets, dude? Holy shit, big money to be made. All right, so, okay, so let me think about this. So instead of doing... So I think instead of doing these separate dictionaries, I want to have a bet... hand data structure, like a player state data structure. Yeah, that's what we're gonna have to do. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So player round state. So whatever state they have for the round needs to go in here, I believe. So let me get this defined here. Public class player round state. State for the player during a given round of BJ, Blackjack. All right. Player round state. And so in the player round state, I can implement a struct. So the player round state, is it player round state or player hand state? Let's do player hand state. Player hand state. State for a given player hand. There we go. So first of all, obviously, so public hand, hand get public int bet amount get set that's it, right? That's all we need is the bet amount for the hand. Is that correct? Yeah, I think that's all we need, actually. This could just be a little struct, but whatever, it's fine. State for a given hand. All right, so this one, and it's going to take in a hand as a parameter here. Yeah. And we can just set the bet amount. Should be fine. Equals hand. All right. So let's go back to our game here. So what I need to do is, instead of doing this... So, I mean, you make your bet first, and then that's associated with the first hand that you get. So, okay, so I still do need to do it like this, actually. We have to get the bets first, the initial bets. Then you get dealt your cards. Then... Yeah, so we do need to keep this, though, because you make the bet before you get your hand. Then you get your hand, and then we have player ID to hand state. And this is going to be hand state. Player hand state. And for each player in this dot player's hand equals, all right, so this dot player ID equals new hand player hand state of hand. The pass in the hand. And then what we need to do, actually we need to do this. Var hand state. Let's do hand state equals new hand. So we'll do it like this. So new player hand state, pass in the new hand as well to that player hand state, and then let's do hand state, not new. And then here though we have to do hand state dot bet amount equals player ID to bet for the player dot ID. And then we assign, I mean, we could do that in either order. And then this one, then we start to draw. So hand state dot hand, a little hand banana action here. All right, hand dot add this dot shoe dot draw. Game constant, starting hand size, and there we go. Jesus Christ, man. Okay, so I just want to say, like, doing all these nested data structures and shit would have been annoying in a fucking scripting language, I think. I can now see why Balatro ended up being a massive if-else. It's complicated no matter which way you cut it. Yeah, Balatro, yeah, is it's probably going to be... Because I'm probably going to try to analyze it at some point, especially if a new update comes out like somebody was telling me about. I still need to look into that. I'm going to have to do some write-ups. I want to try to make a bot that can play... I at least want to make a bot that can play a hand optimally. Or semi-optimally, you know. Even if it's heuristic-based. If not... Like, figuring out what to buy at the fucking shop is a really complicated problem that I don't know if I could solve without... I'd have to probably use some kind of reinforcement learning shit. But I think you could actually compute the optimal things to do with a given hand based on given jokers, mostly using combinatorics, except the only problem with that is that there's meta elements to the game that carry over from round to round, so it's not quite that straightforward, so I don't know. Anyway, we'll get to that when we get to that. We're talking about Blackjack for now. All right, so create player decision info dot hand. There we go. Okay. And this one, hand... hand, let's do a hand state equals that, and then this is going to be hand state dot hand. Gotta hand it to you. All right, so hand state dot hand dot add, hand state dot hand dot add, score hand of hand state dot hand. Nope, with the capital. Hand state dot hand, and then we want to do this. So hand state dot bet amount plus equals hand state dot bet amount. So we're doubling down, buddy. Have you ever thought about coding Magic the Gathering? Yeah, actually I did. I really wanted to back in the day when I was, because I love Magic, or at least, I don't know, I haven't kept up with it. I haven't played much within the past year. I've been kind of disillusioned with the direction Wizards of the Coast is taking the game, to be honest, but I haven't really kept up with it. But back in the day, I really wanted to code a Magic bot. That was a long time ago, and when I was first starting, and I vastly underestimated the amount of work that would be. But it would be fun to do some basic like coding around it. It'd be kind of fun. The closest I've gotten to actually doing it was like I wrote a bot So basically, one time, so I was playing Arena, right? And I just like doing drafts. That's all I would do, okay? And so I wanted to get my maximum amount of gold per day. And so I made a deck that could play itself if you just clicked like the OK button or like the next button, all right? And it would like do attack all every time because they make it so streamlined that all that the code would do. I made this deck that plays itself basically, where all of the decisions are made by pressing the OK button, okay? And then I wrote code to basically try to play every card and every card in a row and then press the like next phase button. And it would do that. And then I used that 17 lands program to look at the win-loss record, and it legitimately beat a few players. And I would just use that to gold farm. Most players would either beat it or just give up because it would play too slow. Now, am I going to say that that was a good thing to do? And I probably ruined some people's days. No, but it was really funny, and I ended up getting a week or like a 2 week ban because it wasn't even because they didn't say I was botting. They said I was stalling deliberately, which my bot was doing. But there you go. That was a fun little time. So that was the closest I've gotten to coding a magic bot. A little bit of a scummy story there, but there you go, man. All right, here we go. Case player action dot surrender's the last one, right? What we got to do is we say, or no, split next, right? Yes, split dot split. What we're gonna do is we're going to. So var new hand equals hand state dot hand dot split. Yeah, dot split. And then what I'll do is I will go not this. So player ID to hand state of player dot ID equals dot add new hand state, player hand state of new hand. Actually, though, what I want to do is do this, and then new hand state equals this, and then this is going to be new hand state, player hand state, god damn it, player hand state of hand state dot hand dot split, and then add the new hand state, just like that. But here what I can do is I can say new hand state dot bet amount plus equals hand state dot bet amount. Yeah, and that should be fine because we haven't been able to double down yet. Yeah. And I guess before I do this, I should check if the player has a natural blackjack as well. We'll come back to that. Let's get the main loop done. Okay. So then break, and then we'll go to the next action that they can take. And then finally, case player action dot surrender. What we do is we do hand complete equals true, and player dot profit plus equals hand state dot bet amount over 2. So you get half of what they bet back. Break. All right, so that should be every action there. So stand, we just say the hand's complete. Hit, we add a new card, and then we say the hand is complete if we hit 21 or above. We double down, we hit, we double our bet amount, and then we say the hand is complete. We split, we create a new hand with new hand state, set that to the bet amount of whatever hand you're on, and then you add that to our list of hands, and then we break. and then we surrender, right? In this case. All right, so then we've gotten out of our switch statement, and then we do hand index plus plus. And what I'll do here now is I'll do hand index is, or wait, no, I'll do it like this. If hand complete, then hand index plus plus. And hand index is, what is it? Less than, what is it? Player ID. Actually, let me get that as a reference then. So var hand states equals this, or player ID to hand state of player.id. And then this down here I can do as hand states of that. And then we're good to go there. Well, it's less than hand states.count. Okay. This was saying hand states not use the count property. Okay, yeah. Fucking fine. Fucking fine. Okay, here we go. So we got this going through. If we complete a hand, we do hand index plus plus. And when we get out of that, so you're storing a list of players, each of which has a list of hands. Yeah, it's a dictionary of. Yeah, we have a list of players in the properties up here that we instantiate based off of these passed to the game. And then in this case, we're keeping track. We're mapping the player IDs to each of their hands, and each of the hands is accompanied by a bet amount. And then what we do is we go through each. So we start off with the initial hand that they have. They're able to take actions until they complete a hand. If they split, they add a new hand to that list, and then we increase the hand index by 1, and then keep going until we've gotten to the end of the list and we don't split anymore. And I'll add in like conditions about next number of splits later. I just want to get the basic info. Hey, how's it going? I go by Micah or Mika, whichever. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing here. So I think that should get the basic shit going. Now, here's the thing, though. So for each player in players, I need to check for natural blackjack. And I should map. My main concern is things going wrong if you mutate a list while iterating through it, but the way you're doing it, it'll probably work. Yeah, so we're not actually using an iterator or anything like that, and we're just doing it while the index is less than the count. And so as we add them, it will be increasing the count, and then we're incrementing the hand index, and as long as that check is in the while loop, I think it should be fine. I mean, I could basically do the same kind of a thing in the... all right, let's see here. So now what I need to do is I need to go to bed is what I need to do, but I'm getting into the code, man. All right, let me just get the natural blackjack logic out of the way. So how do I want to do this? So I'm trying to think. So basically, if the player has a natural blackjack, they get 3-2 usually. I'll have to put that in the rules because some of them pay 6-5. But they usually get paid 3-2. They auto win unless the dealer also has natural blackjack. So I need to store the players that have natural blackjack, I believe. Do I need to store that? I mean, I don't want to have to recheck after it because I could basically skip them and say, well, I mean, stand, blah, blah, blah. I mean, if I do, well, hand index is less than that. I mean, I could do this hand complete equals, I'm just trying to think, because then later, no, but we need to know which one was natural because there's a difference between natural blackjack and getting to 21 later. So we do need a mapping of player to natural blackjack. So let's go ahead and get that dictionary as well. What I may do is eventually go back and consolidate all this kind of disparate data. I mean, so far we've just got the insurance bets and we have the hand state. Could you have just have phases in your game state, deal, check for blackjack, insurance bets, and then process hands that are left? I could do that. Phases in your game state. I could do that, and it might be cleaner to do it that way rather than putting it all out like this. But I want to get the I want to get all the logic written out in this big method, and then I'll probably divvy it up like you're talking about. But for now, I just want to get it all written out there, so I just have it all captured, and then I'll go back and probably divvy it out like you're saying, because I think that makes sense. That's probably the way to do it, and that would also actually what you're saying too would lend itself better to if I want to go back and add a UI, right? Because I could fit a controller into that pretty easily. So yeah, you're making sense. But I just I want to get something typed out before I go to bed, and then I'll probably clean it up later. So yeah, basically my to do for tomorrow before I start streaming again, I want to get this in a GitHub repo while I'm offline, so that people can't see credentials I put it and shit. And then I'll resume again, and I'll probably try to do some refactoring to start the day, and then continue from there. But let's see here. So scorecard equals 11. We do that, and then I need to have a dictionary. So var player ID to here we go, natural BJ. All right, equals new dictionary. Ooh, but that's also on it? No, that's not on a hand by hand basis because you can only have the initial hand can have the natural blackjack. So yeah, it is just a one-to-one mapping between player and that shit. What's an unnatural BJ? LOL. I don't know. I mean, there's probably some Rule 34 shit that fits that. All right, let's see here. I'm not getting into it, man. I'm not getting into it. Int to bool. All right, there we go. So we'll go through and we'll go like this. So if player dot scoring utils dot what the fuck score hand of player. Oh wait, let's put it down here like this. If scoring, move that back. I'm not done. Okay, score hand of hand states of 0 dot hand equals 21, then player ID to natural BJ of player dot ID equals true. Else, I still want the mapping there, so player. Ooh, wait. Actually, let's just do it like this. Player ID. Yeah, we don't need an if else. Then I can just do it like this. No, but then I need to continue. That's fine. I'll just do it like this. So I'll do it like that. If all of that shit. There we go. We have a big monstrosity of an if statement. All right. There we go. Continue. So basically we break out, we say they have a natural BJ, and then we continue. Otherwise, they play out the hand. And then later, we will check if the dealer has a natural BJ. And if not, they get paid out 3-2 because I'm a generous casino that pays out 3-2 on blackjacks as God intended. All right, I think that's a good stopping point. I got a little momentum as soon as chatters stopped start phasing out. That's kind of how it's going to go. You know, it'll be like chat time on stream until people get bored and leave, and then I will get some actual work done. That's probably how it's going to go. I'll probably have to find a good balance because I like talking to you guys. I'll have to find a good balance of like locking in and then chatting. But it's fun. I like the feedback too while we're doing it. Damn, we failed, Chad. You got shit done. I got a little bit done. As Kyle was saying, I do want to break this up. So, for example, what I was talking about earlier is that like having a giant method like this isn't great. You know, you definitely want to like divvy it up because like if somebody was going to like read through this, it's kind of a nightmare. You know, and so, but I just wanted to kind of get it all written out to start off with, and then start breaking it up a little bit so it's a little bit more readable. Um, but yeah, thanks y'all for tuning in. This was just kind of a little experiment. I didn't even intend for it to go this long. I've been streaming for like an hour 40. But yeah, I want to continue doing the coding videos as streams, so I get like to chat with you all. You get to chime in, ask questions as I'm doing it, and like honestly, it'll help because people who know how to code and shit can give me pointers on what they're thinking because like it's just good. I mean, it's good to have an extra set of eyes. It's always helpful, you know, because like even though I've had a lot of experience coding, I still get blinders on certain things. Usually the way I rectify that is I walk away for a while, then I come back and I'm like, what the fuck was I doing? You know what I mean? That's usually how I realize that I'm being stupid, but it's good to get that feedback in real time. But anyway, yeah, calling it a night. Yep, thank you. Sleep well as well, and hope you all take it easy. I will hopefully see you tomorrow if I get a little bit of time. But yeah, before stream ends, let me say my peace dictionary. We love it. We love it. Absolutely. All right, see you all. Hope you have a good one. And this was a lot of fun. I'll do it again. All right, bye-bye.